Hi there, Prairie Girl here. I thought I would just take you for a really quick little update on some of the things that are happening in the garden. It's right at the end of July right now, and we're heading into August, which is usually my high production month. We've also had no rain. I don't think we've had rain since June, middle of June maybe, and very high temperatures for us here, like generally in the 30s, quite often mid to high 30s. So you can see some of the plants are going to be looking pretty stressed. I'm, using my soaker lines and watering them and trying to give them nice deep water, but mulching them. But it's not something we're used to here, and I think the plants are suffering a little bit as well. But they're still producing, and that's the main thing. So. The most exciting thing for me right now is my tomatoes have finally started to ripen. I've had a few cherry tomatoes so far, but my larger tomatoes seem like they're behind to me this year, so they're just starting to ripen now, and thought I'd give you a quick look at those, and then we'll move around and see some of the other things. We'll try and make this a nice quick video just to highlight a few of the things happening in the garden right now. So, like I said, one of the things I'm most excited about is my tomatoes have started to ripen. The plants themselves are looking stressed and closing up because of the heat, but overall they're producing and still doing well, so I think they'll be all right. Here's some black crims starting to turn here. And there's lots and lots and lots hanging on the plants. And then if you peek through there, that's some of the Elizabeth paste tomatoes I'm trying for the first time this year. There's definitely a smaller tomato on that plant. I believe that's Elizabeth beside, and those tomatoes are probably about twice the size there, so I'm not sure. That one plant's just producing a little bit smaller, I think. I have a Manitoba turning right there. Another one on the other side, just starting to blush. I came around to look from this side, and the larger paste tomato is the Amish paste. And then the smaller one is the Elizabeth there. So they're doing well. This tomato here is the mortgage lifter. And there's another mortgage lifter, so you can see kind of the difference. These ones are a little more rounded for some reason on this plant, but they do start to get their proper slicer shape as they go up. So. And there's some San Marzano just starting to ripen up as well. More Manitobas in there, so I might be picking one of those later today or tomorrow. I've pulled out the peas in this back bed, so now you can see the celery. There's been a couple plants come out here, the celery as well. I've pulled a few rows of carrots and replanted, so there are a few carrot seedlings just coming up. The potatoes are definitely starting to mature and get ready for doing some harvests out of the ground beds here. A big wind came through one day. You see they're just tossed around. That was, I think, from a big wind that came through. We didn't get any rain with it, but we had a bit of a storm roll through with some wind and thunder and lightning. And then the potatoes looked like that. The corn has grown tall and is tasseled out and everything, but I don't know if it's getting enough water to actually produce. I'm not sure if I'm going to get corn off of this. Pretty skinny still, and the tops have, started to kind of dry out. So I think I'm not going to get corn. I just think there's not enough water, and I didn't catch it soon enough to realize. am getting the odd little East Elite squash coming off from the squash plants planted under the corn. And there's more celery here. The celery's doing all right, even though it usually likes a lot of water. And this is the celebration squash. I've put it up on a trellis, and I don't seem to be getting a lot of pollination with it, so it keeps trying, but I haven't actually gotten a fruit to develop on it yet. Tried to pollinate, but I never seem to find the male and female flowers at the same time. Just some zinnias in there. I have a new rocket pumpkin growing here, and I just have it on a bit of a trellis, so I've just kind of bagged it and hooked it just to give it some extra support as it gets larger. And the pumpkin is just going straight out through the rhubarb and into the strawberries. I've taken the net off the strawberries and just let the pumpkin do its thing through there. The cucumbers are looking great. They're nice and full. I have them trellised up here. I'm trying to keep them to, 1 or 2 stems off of plants. You can see how I have this one. There's this main stem there off the ground, and then it's separated into 2. And I've tried to keep them. Down to about that size, just to keep them controlled here. And there are pickles forming, and I've picked a few. And made a few batches of pickles. A few jars of pickles, I guess. I come through once in a while and I'll just trim these leaves off as the plants get taller. There's patio snackers there, just forming. It's a quarantine. If you look through, you can see parsnips growing. I think my bed of brassicas is almost a write-off. I've been enjoying some pak choi out of the front, but I think it's just too hot. I think these are all going to bolt by the looks of them. A little bit of broccoli trying, but I think it's just going to bolt. And maybe I'll get some cabbage, but it's not looking too good in there. On the other side of the cucumbers is some zucchini. I've had a few yellow zucchini off of here. I keep them nice and trimmed. This was supposed to be a yellow zucchini, and it's a green one in the back there, and I have it just trained up a stake just to keep it under control. These are my pole beans. These are the purple pole beans, and I've pulled 1 or 2 out of there. I don't see any right now. And then there's the what's it called? Golden Marie, Yellow Marie, something like that. So, and they're producing. I'm not really sure when I'm supposed to pick pole beans. If I'm supposed to let them get a little fatter or pick them like that, I'm not sure. There's another, this was just this summer surprise mix of summer squash from Vessi Seeds, and I have 2 plants in here trained up stakes, and they're producing. There's a few peas stuck in the front of this bed. And there's another dark green zucchini. And then I never remember to show you this, and I'm trying to remember what, this is a Cougar Pumpkin. And I've just put together, with the kids' old monkey bars and some T-bar, a little bit of a vine for, trellis for it. And it's been coming up, flowering, so I don't know if I'll get a Cougar Pumpkin out of it or not. These are my fabric raised beds. I remember seeing a video of those, and the beans are producing like crazy. It looks like I need to come out and pick some more beans. Burgundy beans and some yellow beans. So I'll be picking beans today. And these are the fabric grow bags that I have potatoes in. Without having any rain, the fabric grow bags that the potatoes are in, they have zero drip or anything to them, so I'm having to run water to them quite often. The other bags, the large fabric grow bed bags, have a drip line through them, so they're doing a little better. Here's my pots of mainly peppers. There's a few, this is where some of my cherry tomatoes are. There's nasturtiums and some herbs, some peas coming out of a few of them, and I do have eggplant in one of them. And the peppers have been just the star of the show this year, producing lots. So these are a mini bell right here. They haven't started to turn color yet, but I'm sure they will soon by the looks of them. Lots of nasturtiums. These are the California Wonder peppers. They've been producing non-stop pretty much since they came out here. And then the King of the North. And I was kind of trying to compare the two of these this year, and I think I'm going to stick with the California Wonder. They started producing right away. They've continued to produce. I feel like they're getting larger, a little bit larger peppers on them. And they basically taste the same and look the same. So I think once I'm done, I'll use up the King of the North seed. There's nothing wrong with it. But then I think I'll just stick with the California Wonders after that. There's more. These are my jalapeno peppers in behind all this cilantro here. And I've picked lots off of here, and there's still lots in there. And again, same thing with the banana peppers. I have eaten several. I quite often eat one just in the morning. An Antoy Romanian. Oops, there's that bean I picked. And I've actually had a few of these turn color. I think they were both out of the pots. This one looks like it might be blushing a little bit. And then there's I think it's actually called blush cherry tomato here. I've had a few turn, but the tomatoes really are like really slow this year. Here's my other large fabric raised bed. I've torn out some of the beets, used them up there, and replanted some more golden beets and red ace. And I need to harvest some of this lettuce. It's starting to bolt there, so I need to have some of that lettuce. Planted some carrots in there. There's kohlrabi in here. And it's just starting to kind of fill out and form that bulb on the stalk there, so hopefully I'll get some kohlrabi. I tried replanting some turnips again. Flea beetles, they love my garden. My onions that I planted, some save sets from last year to try and get some seed. They flowered and some of them are aging, so I'm really hoping I'm going to get some seed off of these. I've gotten a little bit of kale, but it's been pretty much just between the flea beetles and the cabbage worms. It's pretty much a disaster there, but I'm just leaving it there because hopefully it'll draw the cabbage worms away from some of the other things like the kohlrabi a little bit. There's more potatoes in fabric grow bags. These are my Hungarian hot wax peppers. I've had lots off of here. I think I just took last one that was turning color yesterday, but very good. They're getting hotter. And then I have, this is Sugar Rush Peach, and they're starting to turn color, so I really want to try one of those, see. And there you can see that pretty peach color. Oops, I guess I'm taking that one. Color's not showing up as well. Maybe you can see it a little bit there. It's turned color. This pot of peppers here is the cheap sweet Annam. It was just a mix from the Atlantic Pepper Company of just basically pepper seeds that fell on the floor, and they just mixed them up in a package. I started 3 plants, and I'm guessing this is, well, it looks like some sort of banana pepper anyways, so I haven't tried any of these yet. And I don't know, is this a Romanian of some sort? I'm not sure. So we'll see. I don't know a lot about peppers, so these 2 that are yellow in these shapes, and then some nice green, just a bell pepper of some sort here. So, and these have been producing pretty well for me. This is a chocolate sprinkles cherry tomato here. Beautiful nasturtiums. Then I have my candy cane peppers. I don't know if you can see the variegation in the leaves. That's supposed to be there. And then peppers can be variegated as well. And I noticed just yesterday I have a red one on here. And they're very sweet. I've already had a red one off of another plant. Very sweet, really nice. I have noticed this pot, the drip isn't working real well in it, so I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to keep it going. I have early prolific peppers in this pot as well. You can see they're just a little bit smaller sweet bell pepper by what I've determined here. And there's a tomato. This is supposed to be Super Sweet 100, and I don't know if I'm just picking them too early, but I'm not enjoying the flavor of these. I don't find them sweet at all. There's another early prolific. So you can see how small it is. I think there's just not enough water in this pot, which maybe is affecting the flavor of the tomatoes as well. I don't think I mentioned this. This planter here had a lot of peas around the outside. I've since pulled all of those, and I've planted some carrot seeds in here, and I just have a little bit of mulch on the outside. It looks like I need to the watering can over. I have drip in here, but this front row, I don't know if it's plugged with hard water or what. It's not working super well. So to get that wet back down again, because it's looking like it's getting dry. And I've moved my pots of peppers to the back of this planter. Just the drip on this side is working too well, and it's dripping out the bottom a lot. So this way they're getting watered every day. So jalapeno, I think that one's Hungarian hot wax. There's the sweet banana. Some of these are starting to change color a little bit. I don't know if you can see it in the camera there. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is a sweet lipstick. And it has some Sugar Rush Peach hanging over into it. So you can really see the color difference on these here. It's an Antoi Romanian, and I may have picked them all off of here. Yeah, I have, and it's not flowering anymore. It's just too hot, so I'm not sure if I'll get more out of that at all. But there were some that were turning really nice color there, starting to get red. This is early prolific, and you can see one there. So this one has grown larger, so I think it's getting more water. and producing larger peppers. And right beside the early prolific is more of the candy cane. And this is the pot I've had some colored ripe fruit out of. And there's one turning there, so I've had a couple already. And that one's turning. They're very sweet. They're really delicious. Loving being in this pot. Like, you see that one there? There's more back. Oops, I just pulled that one off, so I guess I'll be eating this one. Really neat looking and quite nice to, quite delicious too. Nice and sweet. And finally, just in the greenhouse, these tomatoes that I just have in these tiny little pots in here, and there's a couple black creme starting to color in there, and some cherry mixed tomatoes coming along there. Manitoba's in here, full of fruit, so they just need to ripen. And the garlic that I pulled is all dried off, and I'll be going through it today and just trimming off the roots and the stems a little bit, and getting this all sorted out into what I'm going to replant and what needs to be used right away, because some of the skins were split, so they'll need to get used sooner. And then that'll be all cleaned up, so lots of garlic there. So I hope you enjoyed that little stroll through my garden this morning, just a little update to see how things are doing. There's some things that are doing great and some that are not so great, but that's what gardening's about, right? It's getting hot out here already, and it's only 9:30. It's looking like I have some harvesting to do, so I'm going to get to that before it's too hot to be out here working again, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.